Ever get burned out driving the Toyota Tacoma? Maybe have an urge for something else? Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. So the big question, the question of the day. Ever get burned out driving the Toyota Tacoma? Maybe have the urge to get into something else? You know, I'll have to admit, I get burned out driving any vehicle. It doesn't matter that it's the Toyota Tacoma or anything else. After a while, I think I'm kind of car fickle or truck fickle. That's probably why I've had probably pushing 70 new vehicles in my lifetime, which I think is absurd. You know, cars and trucks are such a waste of money. You know, they lose value as soon as you drive them off the lot. You know, you go in, you pay all that money, or maybe sign up to lease them or take out a loan or whatever, and immediately they drop in value. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to keep buying new ones. Why do we do this? I don't know, but I've done it, as I mentioned, several times in my lifetime, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. So what does that mean for my Toyota Tacoma? Well, first of all, let me say I have found a way, to kind of circumvent my need for a new truck, like every year, year and a half. 2 years is really pushing it, and that is through mods. You know, mods for me are a way to change the truck, update the truck, and kind of get a little bit attached to the truck. You know, when you put your own blood and sweat into it, kind of means a little bit more to you than, say, just driving a rental car. You know, when you go to pick up a rental, you really don't care much about it. You pick it up, you do your thing with it, and you take it back. But when you have your own truck, your own Tacoma that you've modded and added your own touches to, it becomes a little bit more personal. And I have to say, everyone that I have traded off in recent years, I do miss. There have been things about each one of them that I really loved. Anything from color to the setup itself. You know, the Barcelona red, have to admit, when I first got that one, I wasn't a real big fan of the red color, but it was striking. It's the one that caught my eye when I went to the lot. Now, it might have been because it was the first one that I saw, and of course they had it all shined up, sitting right there in front of the dealership. I had to have that one, and it really did grow on me as time went by. I loved the color of that truck, and it was awesome when it was clean and in bright sunlight. But then we traded that one off, of course, because I wanted a different version and I wanted a different color. And that's when I got the Voodoo Blue. And I must say, the Voodoo Blue to date is probably the most favorite color-wise Tacoma that I've had. That color is striking. You never miss it. And that's part of the problem with having it too. You know, it does draw attention. And when you do mods and things, you get a little more concerned about leaving the truck alone. So when you park it in a parking lot, you know people are going to see it because of that Voodoo Blue color. But what an awesome color it was. That brings me to my most current one, which is the Magnetic Gray Metallic. Now, that's another color kind of similar to the Barcelona red that grew on me as I had it. Wasn't one of my favorites. I liked it, but it wasn't one of my favorites. But I wanted something that was a little more mute. In other words, something that I could get in and drive around, and it wasn't going to draw attention. I can park it in a parking lot. It just kind of blends in with all the other gray and black trucks and cars out there. So I've accomplished that with it, but I do miss having that eye-popping feel that you get with that truck. Now, some things that I've done to kind of make it a little bit more eye-popping for me, while still keeping it somewhat subdued, is adding mods, aesthetic mods. You know, I have the D-rings on the front, the tow hooks, whatever you want to call them. They're bright red. I mean, you don't miss those. When you see the front of that truck, that jumps out and grabs you. Moving to the back, you've got the really bright red letters. Those letters from Tough Skins, those are like beams on the back of that truck. When you're out running around, that really stands out. And it's one of the ways that helps me to find the truck when I put it in a parking lot. You know, there are a lot of Tacomas in South Texas, and it never fails if I park it somewhere, which admittedly is not frequently, but there are others in the lot. You ever walked out to a parking lot and had that terrified, sinking feeling when you can't locate your truck? You're not exactly sure where you left it? Things start going through my head when that happens. I start thinking, well, maybe somebody stole it. Maybe I parked in the wrong spot and it was towed. Those are the first couple of things I start thinking. And then, of course, I'm stranded. How am I ever going to get back to where I was? It's like without your truck, you're going to somehow just disappear. It's a crazy feeling, but it's happened to me several times. It happened to me here on this trip. I'm driving around in a Mercedes, which I'm not used to. It's silver colored, so it blends in with every other vehicle in the parking lot. I was at the Walmarts the other day, and I had parked somewhere not typical from where I usually park. It was closer to the store. I usually park 100 miles away, but the spaces are a little bit wider at this particular Walmart where I was. So I parked a little bit closer, and I came out, and my first instinct is to look for my trucks because that's what I drive. Well, then I realized I'm not at home. So I realized that I had the Mercedes. So I start looking for that, and I have no idea where it is. No idea at all. It's parked somewhere. I did find it, of course, because obviously I didn't just disappear into the void of nothingness. But it took me a couple minutes to locate it. One thing that's nice, by the way, when that happens is the remote with the alarm on it. You can always hit the remote, have the alarm go off to kind of help you locate a little bit if you're within range anyway. And by the way, did you know if you hold the remote up above your head and push on the button, it kind of amplifies the signal a little bit? It actually works. Try it sometime. So anyway, yeah, I do get bored sometimes, I guess it is, and I start to think about getting a different Tacoma. Fortunately for me, the third generation is still going strong, so there's not really a reason. It doesn't make a lot of sense to go buy another Toyota Tacoma because it's going to be pretty much the same as the Tacoma I have right now. I am impatiently waiting for Toyota to come out with the redesign or something, maybe something else that would separate that third generation truck from all the rest so that I could have a reason to trade mine off on another Toyota Tacoma. That doesn't seem to be happening, so I carry on with the mods, and I do have several more mods coming for that truck. I think I'm going to change the lift. I've talked about that before, and I'll probably make a whole different video, or maybe I already have, about what I might do with that truck, because I think that's another way to kind of separate it out from the others and give me another kind of unique experience with that truck. So we shall see. I'll talk about that later, again, if I haven't already, and I probably have. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Ever get bored of your Toyota Tacoma? Maybe think about getting something else? Another Toyota Tacoma? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. RobMotive JT, all about Jeep Gladiators. Currently, the Jeep Gladiator Mojave, an awesome truck. And RobMotive MT, all about mini trucks or compact trucks. Currently, the Hyundai Santa Cruz. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Stay content out there. Bye.